Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. So here we are, first Saturday, the Rains Retreat. So, as usual, the beginning of the Rains Retreat is a time of kind of settling down, settling in. I'm not completely settled yet because it's just the first week, and there's a few more people coming, and we're just switch over to the new schedule. So it always takes about a week or two to just really quiet down. But now is the time just to kind of adjust, refocus the mind, going towards more simplicity, towards more slowing down, towards more stillness. So I know that outside the Rains Retreat, obviously there's lots of things to do, duties, things we have to do. And being the senior monk, yeah, it's a bit of things on my plate. Some of you might say it's optional, maybe. But there's the usual, the retreats once a month. There's alms round. There's bush blocks to visit. There's teachings in Indonesia, different places. So there is a fair amount of things to do. But now, like the rest of you, I'm always going to turn my mind towards just stillness, towards non-doing, seeing the suffering in all activity, seeing the impermanence. No matter what we do, how hard we work, we're all going to die. So, what are we going to do? Just out of compassion, we could, try to propagate the Buddhist teaching, fix things to make it more comfortable for the people who come to the monastery. But all said and done, it's will never be enough. Will never be completed. Looking around, you see the monastery, the bigger monastery, like in Perth where Ajahn Brahm, unlimited amount of funds almost, because he's well known. Lots and lots of people. And is the monastery finished after 20 years of 20, 30 people working every day, 4 days a week? No, there's always things to do. There's always new ceilings to put up, new tracks to put in, concrete path. First you put in a wall, and then it's not good enough, or more donation comes in, so you put a bigger wall in, you put more wall, more land, more walls. It's never enough. It's never finished. So, and there are reasons, obviously, why we do what we do. But now with the Rains Retreat, it's like 3 months anyway, it's good to change the perspective towards just inclined towards inactivity, certainly the external, just to focus on giving ourselves as much as we can to the formal schedule. Just sitting here, watching the breath, or just to sit and watch, be with the body and the mind as it is. Like I said, I'm not asking you guys to get into jhanas, to have some deep insight, realization. Be good, be nice. But really, just asking you just to be present, to start to turn the mind towards enjoying inactivity, enjoying peace and simplicity, enjoying the quietness of the forest. And it is true, it's nice spending more time here, doing walking meditation, walking around the monastery. Beautiful time to be here. The wattles, the golden wattle, most beautiful flowers in the whole world. I remember when I first came, in Bodhinyana, there's a couple of these plants actually. And every time I came out, I really liked it. And then I come here, my first rains at Western Retreat at Dhamma, and it's everywhere. I was like, wow, how amazing is that? Perfect place to be. And it comes out every rains retreat, mostly. It's in a different rhythm, but yeah, usually there's a good crop. And because of the fire last year, a couple of years ago, it's really coming out strong this time. Lots and lots of beautiful yellow flowers coming out. And it always remind me, I always had this perception, like, why do people bother with gardens when nature does such a wonderful job all by itself? Just walking around, all the flowers blooming. It's amazing. We don't have to do anything. We just have to turn our mind to be aware of what's happening around us. And to appreciate nature, appreciate the bush, appreciate the silence. And we don't have to do anything. Next 3 months, just sitting, walking, just being with the body. Yes, it's all not wonderful. This is not heavenly realm. So of course, when you're sitting, especially in the first few days anyway, I don't know about you guys, but as I am old, body's a bit sore. It's not used to sitting so many hours, so it's a bit sore. But it's an interesting kind of transition period where the mind is settling down, so it's comfortable, but the body is sore. So you kind of have like in the middle, a bit sore, but it's also a bit nice. It's this combination of nice, just to be sitting here, don't have to do anything, don't have to go anywhere, just sitting, watching the breath, being with the soreness of the body. It's not that bad. And it's also, this is what happens when you have a body. When you get older, when you get old, it doesn't grow more energetic. It doesn't grow more comfortable. It's just a bit sore, a bit not quite right. But it is what it is, and not the end of the world. And we're just happy that, yeah, I have a body that is reasonably healthy for me to be sitting watching my breath. And as you know, a lot of people in the world don't have that luxury. That sometimes people are in pain all the time, chronic pain. So it's much harder to practice that way. So yeah, who knows how many good years we have left. So it's good to really take advantage of the time that we have. Like I said a few days ago, the opportunity that we have in terms of the support. Because things can change very quickly. Obviously, some of you might know, Sri Lanka is in the news the last couple of days. And the poor country has just imploded in the last couple of months. All of a sudden there's, people waiting for days for fuel and food. It's crazy. Waiting for days, lines and kilometers of getting the necessities. And a few months ago it was fine, but it shows, how quickly things can change. And we can think, oh, it's just these developing countries. You never know. These days, things change very quickly. Closer to home even, been flooded 3 times in the last 16 months or something ridiculous. These are 100 years, once in 100 years time flood. We get all 3 of them in the last 16 months. So we would have been lucky though. We're 100 meters above the earth, the sea level, so we're fine. We're just stranded a little bit. But imagine you have a house that is a couple meters of water every 6 months. Let's drive you nuts. So things do change very quickly, and you can never depend on tomorrow, next year. They'll be the same. So it's good to focus on the here and now, to really make the best the opportunity that we'll have over the next 3 months, next week. And just, and what is, the response to the fast changing world of ours? Is it despair? Is it worries? No, we respond by going on with our practice, day in and day out. That's the only thing you can rely on. Relied on the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Rely on truth. Rely on the ability of the mind to understand, your innate wisdom to figure out the problems that we face, having trust and faith in the mind, to be able to work with things with acceptance, with clarity, as much clarity as we can muster. So it's a great opportunity that we have over the next 3 months to strengthen these wholesome qualities of compassion, of developing stillness, so that we have the clarity of insight, the true wisdom that comes from a clear mind, not from books, not from thinking, not from hearsay, but seeing clearly for ourselves where true happiness is, where true peace is. There's something that each and every one of us can realize for ourselves in the here and now. So I was saying before, like I said, the full moon of July, the Sala Puja, one of the most important days in Buddhism. I forget to mention, because that's the first time the Buddha gave his first teaching that resulted in 5 stream enter, 5 people who had a breakthrough in the Dhamma. And that's when truly Buddhism started, right then and there. That's when the Buddha passed on his teaching to the rest of humanity. Before, he was just an enlightened being. We don't know whether the Dhamma can be something that can be transmitted to others. And on the full moon of July, he gave his teaching. He passed on the truth, passed on the power of truth for people to transcend suffering for themselves. So it's an amazing, amazing night, and has great ramification for each and every one of us. In this day and age, imagine millions and millions of beings, of people all over the world, the last 2,600 years, just practicing the Buddha's teaching, practicing simple things of stillness, simplicity, of harmlessness, just watching the breath, we can overcome suffering, can overcome confusion. It's an amazing tool that we all have, each and every one of us, the power of the mind. The power to our own salvation, really, within each and every one of us. As most of you know, we're not a theistic religion that way. The beauty of the Buddhist teaching is that we have what it takes to save ourselves, not relying on external beings. We have, each and every one of us, the potential to transcend suffering, to cultivate stillness, cultivate peace, to cultivate wisdom for our welfare and benefit for ourselves, but also for the rest of humanity. So I say over and over again, you can't not share what you don't have. So still cultivating compassion and wisdom in our own mind, our own heart first. Only then can we share that with others. And that's why the unique thing about the legacy of the Buddha, he left the teaching behind that we can all apply to this day and age still. I think that transcends culture, transcends time. But we can still cultivate stillness. And incline the mind towards simplicity, harmlessness. And we see for ourselves what the Buddha experienced the full moon night of May. So as we enter the rains, like I said, to remind people, this is a marathon, not just the rains, but your whole practice. So it's not a sprint. It's not about who gets there first or how quickly you get to the end. Remember, it's the path, beautiful in the beginning, beautiful in the middle, and beautiful in the end. So no need to rush to the end. Enjoy the journey. So the next 12 weeks, really pace yourself, ground your awareness in the present moment. Enjoy the beauty of the bush, the beauty of the purity of intention of all the people in the monastery. All come here to purify our mind, the wealth and happiness of all beings. All the visitors coming to offer food to us, to offer support, offer encouragement. I mean, how good is that? How wonderful is that? It's something that's rare in the world, something we should never take for granted, something we should always appreciate each and every day. And something also bring us, something we also share the goodness that we develop to all our friends and supporters, all the people practicing with us in the monastery, and other people come to support us, but also all the past beings, community members who come and worked and built this place and maintain it so we can come and practice still this day and age. So as we just pace ourselves, but also, like I said, not always banging away at the practice or the breath or the mantra, but find joy and happiness each and every day. Find joy and happiness in all that you do. Whether it's just taking walks around the monastery, enjoying a quiet cup of tea in the afternoon, or just enjoying the full moon walking back. It is. We're quite fortunate in that way to have such a beautiful place to practice. Such a quiet place, not far from Sydney. How good is that? So based upon that, out of gratitude, we rouse energy to put more effort into awareness, effort into mindfulness, effort into caring for ourselves and others around us. It is through mutual respect and love and acceptance that we'll grow in the Dhamma for ourselves and others. So, I wonder if I can say that, but I'm excited for the next 12 weeks, what it will bring. More beautiful flowers coming out the springtime. And it's cool in the morning, but beautiful in the afternoons. So it's it's good to be here. It always is. Even when I travel, and I do a bit of travel, I always love coming back. It's like great. I love coming down that hill. It's like, oh, home. We can't stay home because we're homeless. So homeless, sweet homeless. And it's true. I always like coming back to this monastery. Maybe he's right. Maybe some of that monk. Maybe I was a kangaroo here in the last lifetime, so I like it so much. You never know. So, like I said, I offer that for your reflection tonight. Offer an encouragement toward turning towards stillness, turning towards simplicity, turning towards unity, and hopefully emptiness. And for not just for our enjoyment, but for our welfare and happiness for ourselves. And then with that, we can share that to others for their welfare and benefit as well. So offer that for your reflection tonight.